you for coming to my podcast. No, I'm kidding. Hi, guys. I have another little fun game for my dad centered around trendy, viral, Gen Z, Gen Alpha phrases that I think will be funny. So bear with me. But I've got, for this little game, I've got 4 different phrases that I found online, and I'm gonna just say them with no context, and I want you to tell me what they mean, and then maybe like try and use it in a sentence or something.
Okay.
So does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Lay
it on me.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go from easiest to maybe like hardest. First one is first couple are maybe ones you've heard before, but the first one is delulu.
It means you're delusional. You're coming up with false, whatever.
Can you use it in a sentence?
You're delulu if you think I'm going to give you all my allowance money.
Ooh. Tell him. It's very girly pop of you. What?
Girly pop.
Girly pop. Yeah, it's okay. The second one you probably have heard as well, but maybe don't know. Riz.
You know what? I have heard. You've got a. Let's see. I like you because you have a lot of riz and you're exciting.
Okay.
It's like charisma, right?
Yeah, that's exactly where it comes from. You're 2 for 2.
Yeah.
You're pretty up to date. All right. I'm getting a little harder.
I think these words were around for a little while.
Yeah, I think I'm out of date. I think that's what it is. I don't think I'm that young. Okay, this one.
Okay.
The ick.
Say it again.
2 words. The ick. I-C-K.
So I'm telling what it means first and then trying to use it in a sentence.
Yeah.
I would say it means it's the grossest or, the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, so
use it.
This casserole is the ick.
This casserole is the ick. Very good.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, is that right?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Well, no.
It's
no.
not right.
No, it's not right. It's okay. I'll tell you later. Last one of my favorites. I actually use this quite frequently. 2 words. You ready? Girl dinner.
Girl dinner?
Girl dinner. The sigh.
Is this a really small little tiny meal of some kind, like a little tiny plate of sushi or something?
Use it in a sentence.
We had a real girl dinner of cucumber sandwiches and little cups of tea.
That's actually pretty close. I think you.
Okay.
3 out of 4 is pretty good, but I also think I'm pretty outdated. But good job.
Girl dinner.
Yeah.
Never heard of that in my life.
Girl dinner. I think it's like when there's
never
also,
heard of the ick
there's
either.
also boy dinner. Girl dinner is like eating like nothing. Like you're gonna. Oh, I might put like mayonnaise on potato chips for dinner or something like that. Just like just whatever you have in your fridge, just to be like.
That's boy dinner.
Boy dinner is like, this pizza box has been out for 2 days. And I'm going to eat these slices of pizza that are still in here. That's boy dinner.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Your mom would have a fit.
Yeah. And then the ick is actually a dating reference. When you're dating someone and they give you the ick. So it's a moment when you realize this person is not attractive to me. Yeah. It's like if I'm a girl and out on a date with a guy and like maybe he like doesn't know how to like change a tire or something, that gives me the ick.
Or picks his nose or something.
Yeah. Or even like, and it's obvious. It's sometimes used in like really weird ways. Like he ties his left shoe first or something, and it's like that's the ick. It gives you the ick. You can't explain it.
Yeah. If a girl's bothered by that, she's the ick.
she's the ick.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? Okay. Cool.
These cold openings are the ick to me.
That's great. That's cool. Okay.
Sorry.
Awesome.
No, I'm just
The
kidding.
ick.
They're really not.
That's great.
I applaud your efforts.
I try. I'm trying, man. We
make a laughing stock and exploit old people in order to gain viral prominence.
Yep.
Right?
That's the plan.
That's what you're doing.
That's the plan. That and to also make fun of all of these weird phrases that I don't really.
I agree with that. But I remember when I taught school how the kids thought it was great for me to utter the most trendy phrases that I had no idea what they were, and they just got a good laugh at it. So I've been the butt of jokes for many years now, so getting used to it.
We'll teach you how to riz the huzz later.
But boy, do I know movies.
Boy, do you know movies. And these movies are actually awesome. This is one of my, I really liked this one.
I'm glad.
So today we're reviewing a classic that I feel like not many people know about. It's called 84 Charing Cross Road.
It's a hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem, I would say, from 1987.
Yep.
Also, I want to say, this is our 20th episode.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Man, you had to sit through 5 minutes of the ick and girl dinner before you learned that it was our 20th episode.
20th episode. We should have had a little,
I know,
a cake or something.
a little like, I'm getting a little better editing, so maybe I could be like, boo, and like something.
Yeah, there
like
you
that.
go.
But I'll put like a fart noise in there or something. But
Again with that.
again,
We don't use that word.
The theme of these movies is some of Dad's favorites that I've never seen. It's just
February favorites.
Exactly, and I don't know what that is, but like I said, this is a film most people probably haven't seen.
Right.
I
I would
never
agree
heard
with
of
that. Well, it had limited release in theaters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think 87, of course, was at the height of VHS days. So I would imagine that it had most of its showing on going to the video store.
Yeah.
I have seen it on television a couple times. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, and as always, spoiler warning. We're going to talk about the whole movie. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to, you don't want to spoil the ending or anything like that, go watch it and stop watching this. Otherwise, we're going to get to the background and stuff like that. So
there we go.
Yeah. What movie are we watching? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna pull a you. What movie are we watching? So this is I would call this like a British American drama.
Yes.
Released in 1987, directed by David Jones, screenplay by James Roose Evans. It's based on the 1970 epistolary book by Helene Hanff.
You know what an epistolary book is?
A book of letters, epistles.
So
Yeah, I'm a literary
you Bible student. You.
Yeah. No, that's my wife. But so the book consists of real letters exchanged over 2 decades by the real Helene Hanff and this bookstore. So which is really cool. I think that was and the film actually bases the plot off of a lot of those letters, and it uses the actual letters in the film as well. So which is really cool. It spans from 1949 to 1969. So we're looking retroactively from 1987 to that time period.
Right.
And it speaks about post-war life in both places. You got like protests in America in the 60s and stuff like that. You got even like the political landscape of Britain at that time, which I ashamedly am very ignorant about. But you have like post-war Britain, which was like, food rations.
Britain really got a lot of damage.
World War II.
A lot of bombings. Food was still rationed. They were in the throes of rebuilding at the time, and so so it added to the interest of the picture, I think.
Yeah.
So
and but yeah, it's the correspondence between Helen Hanff and Frank Dole.
Dole?
I'm
Dole.
like Frank Dole. Yeah. In New York City and London.
Helene Hanff. Did you say Helene Hanff?
Yeah. I'm all these names are hard for me.
It's okay.
But
it doesn't matter. It's still
Right. The main cast, I would say, is really just Anne Bancroft and Anthony Hopkins.
Right.
And then you also have to mention, even though she has a small role, is Judi Dench.
Right.
Dame Judi Dench.
Judi Dench.
Because she wasn't a dame yet.
She was not a dame.
But she plays Frank's wife, Nora.
Yeah.
And for the reception, like you said, this wasn't like very noticed when it came out.
No.
Do you want to talk a little about that?
Well, it's just very unusual for a feature film. I just think that I have recommended this movie to people, and over the years, people have said, "Oh, I love that," or "I thought that was the most boring movie I ever saw." So I think that you have to be of a certain mindset to like it, to enjoy it. I think you either have to be into the performances, or you have to be a major book lover, a writer, something like that to enjoy it. You asked me if I wanted to say anything else
about any other like background stuff before we get into fun facts and things like that.
I had something about. I think. No, go on.
Okay.
Sorry.
But as we mentioned before, Helene Hanff and Marks and Co. was the name of the shop. The correspondence
Marks and
was real,
Co. Yeah.
which is pretty cool. A lot of the film's dialogue is
Right.
taken from that. The bookshop after this film became almost like a pilgrimage site for fans of the movie.
Yeah.
And there's like a commemorative plaque that like marks the location of the actual 84 Charing Cross Road, Marks and Co. And another thing too is if you've watched the movie, but it's something you don't even notice because their relationship is the core of the movie. Hopkins and Bancroft really don't share any scenes together.
No.
And it's like that's kind of crazy to have your main. I don't know. That's such a unique way to do it, to have your main relationship or core of the film never film any scenes together.
I think the closest they get is there are a few scenes where they break the fourth wall and they talk directly to the camera as if they're talking to one another.
Yeah.
But that's really their voices in the letter, really.
Yeah. But yeah, any more little fun facts or background stuff that you got?
No, I don't think so. I might be out of order here.
It's okay. I was gonna go into like first impressions and stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
So first time for me, as is the thing with all of these. I thought this film was very slow but cozy.
That's a good way to put it.
Right, and the friendships and relationships, the characters feel very genuine. Everything. Helene, it feels like a person I've met before.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and I've never been to England, or I don't know anybody who's English, but I mean, I assume they're just as, they seem, very
restrained.
Yeah, for sure. But like I feel like Helene, I want to be friends with her or something.
Yeah.
Like, she's great.
Well, and her, I don't know exactly like whose idea it was to make this into a movie, but I'm sure someone met her and thought, man, her personality is such a contrast to the reserved British.
Yeah.
So this could be good.
I told whenever I was watching this, I told Kylie, I said, I just watched the most Mark Tullis movie I've ever seen in my life, because we've got a gal who doesn't mess around, which is a prerequisite for all.
I like those gals who don't mess around.
And then a reserved British guy, which is very much like, I don't know. I feel like you really love like the Coronation Street TV show.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like you love like British actors and things like that. So
I just like how British people are so reserved, and they can tell you off in the nicest tone.
Exactly. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, what Dad? What did you think? What how many times have you watched this? Why did you pick this one? Why has it stuck with you over the years since you first watched it?
I can't keep track of how often I've seen it. I know that the first time I saw it, I rented it on a VHS at a video store, and simply because I like Anthony Hopkins and Anne Bancroft, and this was before. Of course, this was after Anne Bancroft had won an Oscar in the 60s for Miracle Workers. She played Annie Sullivan, Helen Keller's teacher.
Okay.
She'd been in The Graduate. Of course, I wasn't around for those movies. I just saw them later. But and Anthony Hopkins had yet to have won. For his, he became a whole different household name as Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah,
and all of that. Yeah. So that was before that.
That's where I knew him from.
Yeah.
And this was before that, you're saying?
This was before that. Yeah. Now, I knew him from, I'd seen things that he'd been in, and I'd seen him on television a little bit. And one of my favorite movies from the late 60s is Lion in Winter, which he played with Katharine Hepburn. Okay. It's a great movie. We'll have to do one of those too. That would have been on one of my favorites list too. I just that's why I picked it up. I'm sure their pictures were on the sleeve of the video.
Yeah.
And I just was drawn into the story, the fact that this lady was she was really a script reader. She was a writer, but her job was reading scripts. And she was a very very cerebral reader. And she wanted to read British literature, and she couldn't find any in New York that she could afford.
Right.
And so she found this little ad in, I guess, Variety, or maybe not Variety, but some type of magazine.
It was like like the Saturday book review or something like that.
Something of
Like
that, yeah.
literature review,
Something that a writer would read.
Yes.
And she found these this ad for this Marks and Co. in England, and wrote to them. And then that first scene where she gets these books back and she gets a letter. We found 2/3 of what you asked for, which she was not expecting. And she got these books that were used books, but way beyond her expectations. And, Anne Bancroft is such a good actress, such a great actress. You could feel like it was like Christmas for her that she was getting these books. And
her performance made me want to become a bibliophile, like someone who loves books. Because it's just the way she like values them and like cleans them and like it's just her apartment was so cool. All the books everywhere and stuff, and it was
She said cool. I'm almost ashamed to put these on my orange crate bookshelves. And she finally had good bookshelves later, but she smells the book. She looks at she describes the colors of the pages and stuff. And some people are like nerd, with that, because there are some people that just don't value, books and things, and that's okay. Doesn't make them bad people. But
it does.
I just know, what books meant to us growing up. They were just another escape from things like the rigors of childhood growing up. You could escape with television or movies or books, and so you just end up really feeling, her excitement. And then whenever she writes back to them and she says, I was so, flabbergasted by what you sent me, and they become really, invested in a relationship with her. And then
everybody there loves her.
Yeah, eventually everybody in the bookshop writes to her. And
the best is when Frank doesn't know everyone's writing to her.
Yeah,
that's the best. He's like, because you read like 3 or 4 of their letters to her, and then Frank starts and he goes, I'm sure you're wondering why we haven't written to you yet. And it's like she's already received like 4 letters from the employees. That's the best.
Right. And she ends up she has friends upstairs, and her good friend is married to a native Englishman, and so she asks him, what can I do for these people? These people are they have just given me so much by these books that are cheap. And what was funny is she sends money in an envelope, and they're like, don't do that. And she's like, I don't care to send. She sends $2 for like 4 books or something. And the guy that's from England who lives in her building, gives her the idea to send food to them because they're in food rationing over there. So she sends cans of potted meat and things that sound disgusting to us, but I think she sends a ham. And
and that was really, she said like 1 egg a month. Or something just crazy stuff like that.
So she sends them powdered eggs and things like that,
and ham, which for it was Christmas time and they didn't have any. And it was like that was really meaningful.
Yeah, they were all really into it. So I don't know. It sounds when you describe the movie, it does sound like a boring story. But you trust me, you have to watch. If you're watching us right now, and you're not supposed to be without watching the film, and you feel like this doesn't sound like a movie I want to watch. I bet you'd like it if you'd give it a try.
Man, if you love movies where people are like, and you've watched it, so but like, and even if you didn't like it, maybe this is my plea to you: go back and watch it and look at the relationships and the nuance there, and like just all the intimacy that happens, though platonically, just through connection, just through the written word, and their love for literature is so infectious. It's awesome. I thought it was a great movie.
And they are excited. This is something that doesn't happen to us anymore because we email and we text, but they're excited to get letters from each other. They're excited to get packages from each other. I mean, we have that because we order Amazon and things, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just charming, and like you said, it's a cozy picture.
Very much. Yeah, it makes me. I mean, I wasn't born yet, but it makes me nostalgic for a time when you wrote letters to people. When you, I mean, you still can, but it's just not something people do anymore.
Right.
Right. This movie, I'm going to say this at the end too, but this movie made me want to have a pen pal, write to.
I saw a movie one time where a guy was describing what email was to a lady, and she was an older lady, and she'd been a school teacher, and he said, well, an email is like the letter that you wrote to your cousin, but you can send that same letter to 60 other people. And she stared at him and she said, "That's disgusting." and really that sums it up.
Yeah, it is.
You know, really.
No, this is, it's, and it's, that is, because it's like, where's the intimacy? Where's the, like, I think if you, and I think our society is marching so much toward convenience that a lot of the beauty's lost.
I would agree.
Don't you don't run it. There's not enough inconvenience to add meaning to things.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Anyway, we both love this movie so much. I think we like both underestimated how much the other loved this movie.
Yeah.
But let's get into some of the themes I want to talk about.
Hit
here. And this is really it. It's just the story and what it's saying through their relationship and such. And one of the biggest overarching themes is connection without physical interaction. And because their relationship exists almost entirely through letters, really entirely through letters, not almost entirely. Words substitute actual physical meetings and presence. And I wanted us to talk about, do you think written communication can create intimacy that equates to face-to-face connection?
I think it can definitely create intimacy. I don't know if it would be equated to face-to-face interaction. I think a lot of people communicate better with words. I communicate better. I mean, in written form. I communicate better in written form. A lot of times people who do that are looked on as cowards because, they're brave behind a keyboard or writing letters.
Sure. Yeah.
And, but some people, in my opinion, if I'm going to say something, especially if it's difficult to say to somebody else and we're going to get it out there, why not write it down so you can look at it and revise it and get everything said just the way you want it said, give the other person a chance to give a rebuttal or whatever you want to say. And, why not? Sometimes when you're face to face, you definitely say the wrong things. You're angry, whatever it is. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but I think that the intimacy of face to face, I don't know that they can be equated. Is that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I like what you were saying about the, what was it? Like, when you're face to face, you can just kind of be flippant with your words. You can kind of just say things you don't mean.
Yeah.
And with,
it's almost like you have to go back and follow up and like, what I said the other day, I was angry, or but with, you could, and a lot of times people will say, if you're going to write a letter and you're angry about something, go ahead and write it, but don't send it. Right. Or an email or a text or whatever it is, don't send it. And then sometimes you think about it for a while. You don't really have that chance to do that face to face. And I'm not talking about just with negative stuff. I just
even positive things
too. Yeah.
It's there's I don't know how it equates, but it's almost like with face to face connection, there you kind of lose, or really just compared against any kind of instantaneous connection like texting or face to face stuff, or even like a phone call. Writing a letter is its own kind of intimacy, because you're having to sit down and really comes to grips. Okay, this is what I think about this. Yeah. This is actually what I want to communicate. Right. You have to think for a long time about it.
Put your thoughts down. Yeah. Sure. Yep. I agree.
But another theme, another kind of thing going along with that is, so I guess the theme of loneliness, what that looks like, loneliness without bitterness, possibly. But I wanted to say that I think someone who's like in their 20s sees singleness into late adulthood as something to fear. I think a lot of people, men and women both, like if thinking to yourself, oh, I'm 40 and single, my life is over, or something like that. A lot of people think that, or at least in modern American society. But however, Helene's isolation it's very like, or her like singleness, I guess, is very joyful. There's a lot of funny, like connection moments with other people. It's filled with love, and there's a really genuine sense of freedom that she exudes as just a single person on her own. And I think the film kind of avoids self-pitying her, or even showing her as like an old maid, which is like an outdated term.
I gotta stop you there. Do you remember? And maybe I dreamed this, but when she at the point in the movie where she looks out the window and she sees the two people kissing and she says, "I require a book of love poems."
Yeah.
Did she look at a picture of someone in her apartment? Did she have a picture of?
I don't think so. I think she just saw those two people and she was like, "It's spring and I require love."
Yeah,
poems.
I'm just wondering. For some reason, I remember her a picture, even a passing scene of maybe someone from in the service, like maybe she had a boyfriend or even a husband at one time who went in the service, because it was 1949. She could have lost someone a few years before that.
True.
Who knows?
Yeah, I might have missed that. They don't really touch on it if it's true.
So I don't know why I thought that. I'd have to watch it again, but it's probably something that they wouldn't even talk about.
Yeah.
But anyway.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
But I just love that the film showed her enjoying herself and stepping out, making connections and friendships and maintaining those without a marriage or romantic partner.
Yeah.
She fulfills herself through those.
Right.
And why do you think, and unless I'm missing it somewhere, which I might be, I don't think the film ever turns her loneliness into melodrama or something to be sorrowful about.
No.
And why do you think the film makes this choice to kind of show her loneliness?
Well, I just think that they show how she has friends from all walks of life, including just like the local butcher, and and she has a very full life. She finds joy in her friends. She finds joy in arguing with the butcher about not carrying her brand of lunch meat that she wants. She then obviously has a great love of books. You could almost see her as an older lady who couldn't get around, who'd be content sitting in her apartment, reading her books. Yeah. So she had such joy when she got those books from that bookstore, and then later such joy corresponding with these people and being friends with them through letters. I just think that they just wanted to show how fulfilling life could be. Yeah. Although it would have been nice if she'd gotten to go to England, but that would have changed the whole picture. Yeah, if she got to go there, so she really could never go for the film to work. So
that's a good point. You have a feeling that she'd be content either way.
Yeah.
But then Frank, by contrast, he feels lonelier, and even a little bit more isolated than Helene, even though he's married with kids. Yeah.
So you're saying that you felt he was lonely, or you you think he was playing it like that?
I think that I think the film, unless I misread it, I think the film is showing us that. Shows us him in very lonely moments where he seems more withdrawn from people and he seems more to himself, even though he is constantly surrounded by family, friends, things like that.
Yeah, I think he was portraying the proper English gentleman who marries. I think he very much loved his wife, loved his children.
I think so too.
If you noticed his wife, when she wrote to Helene, she said, "I want to tell you about our girls. Our oldest is a ready-made daughter," which means Frank had her before. Yes. So he was married before. Ready-made. So he's gone through probably loss, and I would say during the war.
Yeah.
So he has been through trauma. He's been through the war. Things are settled down. He's now in this neat, clean, respectable bookshop that has not been bombed.
Which is
they're all very serious because they're well aware that things could be taken quickly because of the life they've just lived through. So I'm just wondering if he's so reserved that he looks sad and lonely, but maybe he just is like, I now have a wife that I love. I have these daughters, and it shows him being playful with his daughters.
Oh, yeah, totally.
It shows him doing things and decorating for Christmas and all this. But I think that the relationship with Helene is somewhat exciting, titillating. I'm not thinking that he would have an affair with her or anything, but just the fact that he has this writer friend from New York City who leads a life that he doesn't even know about outside of his little book shop that really where the same things happen every day. I think that he Anthony Hopkins portrays that so well. So I'm not sure I agree with you with that there's loneliness. I'm sure that he probably wonders. He plays Frank as wondering. I wonder what it's like. I wonder what it's like to live in New York City and hustle and bustle around and write for a television show and I'm sure he just it's just like when we read about a famous person or we find out about someone taking a trip somewhere exotic or something. You just always kind of wonder what it's like, you know. So I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know. But he does kind of have like a melancholy look, and I'm sure he's been through things that we don't know. There wasn't a lot of backstory on some of it, but you just kind of put the pieces together.
Yeah. So you're saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, that like what I'm reading as loneliness is actually just a reserved personality from gauging from his past and just like also who he is.
And a resolve. This is my life. This is what I do.
Yeah.
We go through our life. We enjoy one another.
Yeah.
We do Christmas like this. We take our lunch at this time. We paint the living room ceiling on the weekend. We, just the day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And which he's content with. But, there's always the capacity to, I wonder what it would be like if Helene came here and I met her.
Yes.
I wonder what it'd be like if my wife and I could travel to New York City and visit her, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And I think what I read from that, and maybe it's not even about loneliness, but just more about like going out and getting it. Because Helene, and that's the thing is Frank is very consistent and very measured, very structured.
Yeah.
And he's very much dreams about, like you're saying, like Helene and that life. Helene, like she has gone out and made all these friends. She's like inserted herself into people's lives.
Yep.
And I think that, I don't know, I was comparing this to my own experiences I'm not like fresh out of college or anything, but it's almost like when, you graduate college, you're 22. Up until that point in your entire life, your friends are like close friends are like almost provided for you.
Yeah.
Like from school or like, extracurricular activities like sports or church or whatever. Yeah. And then like, as soon as then it's like all on you.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you have to actually step out and
It's
put yourself in front of people. Yeah. And so I think that's just kind of, I don't know, what I saw in the contrast between how they move throughout life is Helene may seem more fulfilled because she goes out and gets it and chooses to interact with these people and stuff, where Frank is like, well, this is the way things are and I'm going to be like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I don't know. I think it was an interesting character study into two very different, really polar opposites types of people. So, yeah.
Well, I had written down for Frank, steadiness, duty, quiet devotion.
Yeah, sure. That's good.
Not a lot of sentimentality. This is just what my life is. I don't think he's unhappy. I just think he always thinks, I wonder what it would be like if, and most people do think that from time to time.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
Here's kind of along with that, but I've got emotional connections and then what crossing the line means. So this is like, I don't want to like dog on the relationship between Frank and Helene. I think it was like appropriate. I think it was friendship. I think it was I think it was appropriate and everything. I just wanted to kind of like talk about this and kind of, see around. But I think the elephant in the room is the question of their feelings for each other sometimes. And it seems like Helene does dream about Frank, but it seems like she loves him as a friend. I think, and that's where she comes to. Where I think Frank sometimes, his feelings for her may be more than that. But I don't know. So I wanted to ask you, like, do you think his feelings for Helene cross any kind of boundary in terms of like him being a married man and thinking about another woman this way? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, we don't really know exactly how he's thinking about her. I will say this. I don't know that his wife, it doesn't talk much, but I don't know that his wife is interested in books as much as he is.
Yeah, she says that in her letter at the end, that she's not.
Yeah. So, obviously, and this has happened to us. We've all had friends, good friends of the opposite sex. And you either find a sense of humor or some kind of common interest or something you have, and it feels good. It's not necessarily you don't feel attracted to that person because of it or anything, but it's a good feeling to be able to talk about a common interest. And so I'm sure that there was, when he found out that she was loving these books that he was sending her, or they were finding these books, then he goes to those estate sales, which was so cool, like to go see, you know, those big, beautiful estates.
English
they were going, and they were buying books from the collections on these big estates of their huge libraries and everything. He was looking for books that she would like there. So, you know, I think that was their connection. I think books was the basis of their friendship and their admiration for each other and their love for each other. Even I could go so far as to say, I don't know that I think, because I really do think he loved his wife quite a bit. Now, the scene that I think probably is making you wonder, and it made me wonder too, was when he came out of his office thinking that she'd come in.
Yeah, that it was Maxine.
Yes. Well, no, it wasn't Maxine, her friend Maxine. It was the other. It was just a regular lady from Delaware.
Yes.
And I think he heard her voice and thought American.
Yeah.
Went out and was very reserved and kind of smiled at her, and he was staring at her, and she looked like, you're staring at me like that. And then she said, I'm from the States, and he was all hopeful, you know. Now, would Helene have come in there like that unannounced? I doubt it.
No.
I think she would have let them know, hey, I'm coming over. You know, hang up the banners for me.
Yeah,
She would have burst through those doors and said, Frankie, I'm here, you know, all this stuff.
Said hi to everybody.
Oh, yeah. She would have hugged and kissed everybody and all that. But you could see his hopefulness, like, what if I get to meet her, you know, like this? You know, I guess I kind of had pen pals over time. I had you know, a couple of pen pals, and there's a mystery attached to having a pen pal, you know, really. So
well, that's
anyway.
kind of the next thing I wanted to get into. This is my last little theme. But it's the idealization of each other versus like the actual reality.
Right.
So because they have to, when you have a pen pal or something like that, is someone you've never met in real life, you have to like curate a version of them in your head. You can't really, you know, so it's like the relationship is shaped by absence,
right?
You know, and so I wanted to know, like, do you think this relationship would have would it survive in-person contact? What if they both lived in the same place? Do you think this story unfolds differently if that's the case? Do they have the same closeness?
Yeah.
You know, that you feel.
So what would have had to have happened was, by some circumstance, she moves to London.
Right.
And now they're in close proximity, and they'll get to see each other once in a while.
Yeah.
It would have changed the dynamic.
Totally.
Yeah. Because, well,
do you think the intimacy goes away? This like not a romantic intimacy, but just this closeness that they feel.
It could go either way. I mean, it could go either way. It just I think it depends on. It depends. I mean, I've known people who I've met after I conversed with them over text, or who I've just like messaged over Facebook, like. And some of them are shy when you meet them. You meet them over text or over Facebook or something, and you think, "Oh, these people sound like a lot of fun," and then they're shy in real life, or they're not what you expected.
Yeah.
Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, I mean, it's a little bit like modern day, like that pen pal letters could go this way.
Yeah.
Facebook. So many people use Facebook to just show the best parts of life, the best pictures of themselves. They put filters on their pictures and, you know, make themselves have no wrinkles, and they show their family doing the best and the biggest and best.
It's like you're reading my notes. I literally wrote that down.
Facebook.
That's
okay.
crazy.
I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'm taking away from
that's,
it. Just occurred to me.
No, that's,
but
that's
you get to where, you know, Facebook is not inaccurate, and you could go that way if you were a pen pal. But one of the ladies in the bookshop said, I wonder often what you look like. I expect you're glamorous and blah, blah, blah. And then I think Helene writes back and says, if you can call mousy brown hair and beat up old men's sweaters, you know, glamorous or whatever she writes.
Yeah.
You know, so right there, you know that Helene's not pulling any punches. She's like, nah, this is what I look like.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Well, that's so, like, in this movie, they at least have the reality check of like, oh, I can't see them. I'm not actually speaking with this person. But like when you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or whatever, it might be because like you can see these people's photos and videos and stuff like that, but like you think you're actually interacting with them somehow, and you're not.
Right.
And it's like you're idealizing them the same way that Frank and Helene are, just in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you also have to stop and think, just like Helene and Frank have to do, and bring yourself back to reality. Like with social media, just be like, man, I'm seeing everyone's best possible moments.
Yep.
I'm seeing everyone else's highlight reels.
Yep.
And I'm not actually seeing them, speaking with them.
No.
That stuff.
No.
So I think that Helene and Frank, or any kind of correspondence like that, you have to do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, like Helene does, where she's like, if you like mousy brown hair and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
And she says things like, I'm hoping to break that proper British reserve of his.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause she's trying to let it all hang out.
Yes.
And say, how dare you send me such garbage or whatever. I mean, sometimes she's angry at him, and sometimes she, you know, and he just always answers very eloquently, and you know, I'm so sorry, the blah blah blah, you know, and
well, I think that's part of it though. I think he dreams about being able to be free, like she
probably
is. Like she just feels everything.
Well,
you know?
and that, you know, if you've ever been around, you probably have friends like this, or you know people where the man is reserved and really proper, and the woman's kind of crazy and creative, or vice versa.
Yeah.
They're attracted to one another like that.
Totally.
So
Yes.
especially the reserved one attracted to the wild one.
Yeah. Yep.
You know. So
well, I think in both cases, the wild one is like, I need a stable person.
Yeah.
And the stable person, or the reserved one, is like, I need to branch out more.
Yeah.
And so I think they kind of
right.
So
right.
yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my last one. Do you have the if you directed it section for that? Would you change? I mean, my big one is, do you have them meet? Do you like what do you do about that? Do you change that?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. It would have changed. I mean, let's just say she meets him on his deathbed, or she meets him right before he passes away.
Man.
You could change the whole.
Totally.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that it's just a good little story. It's a shame that she didn't get over there. She planned to go. They were all excited she was coming.
Yeah.
I really thought it was kind of weird though. Like she went there, and we don't know because she went into the bookshop in '69 whenever she went, and surely something. I don't know. I would think that somebody was still around that she could have met. You know, she could have.
Like they all died or something.
And I don't. Like, and I'm wondering. I'd like to read the backstory a little more. I didn't have time before we did the podcast, but maybe she did. I mean, because I don't think that the letters that some of the office staff wrote to her probably just had the Marks & Co. address. Maybe they had their own personal address. She definitely had.
The secretary.
Frank's wife. She definitely had his home address. And for some reason, I hadn't seen it in so many years. I thought that she visited her, but then it was actually she wrote a letter. Mrs. Dole wrote a letter to her. I don't know. I would love to have seen. I would love to have seen her meet his wife. I would love to have seen Helene meet one of his daughters.
I wonder why they didn't have that happen.
And maybe the daughters pulled out one of his little treasure boxes, and he had a snapshot of her or her letters or something. I don't know. Yeah. Something. I probably would have added a little, but probably some of the sap that I would want to add to it probably would have messed up the whole movie.
Yeah, that's how I always feel.
You know, I think the people taking the book, the actual letters, and being authentic to Helene's relationship with him, they did enough. Yeah. You know, of course, we all wanted her to meet him, and we all wanted to see that moment. That would have been, because she would have cried, and he would have been like, "It's very nice to meet you," and he would have been really, like that. But I don't know. It was still just a sweet little movie, and she at least got to go in there and look around, and but you can't. Your mom's been watching Hallmark films lately, and they're pretty much manufactured and have the same happy ending. You can't have all movies in like Hallmark films.
That's true. Yeah, can't be sappy.
Nothing wrong with watching Hallmark films, honey. I'm just saying.
There is. Stop.
Anyway. Stop it, mother.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. We've gone over because we both love this movie.
Let's keep talking about this movie.
Acting,
I was so worried that you'd think it was boring too. I have to
Love-
say that I texted Riley when he was watching
He
these
did.
movies and said, "I hope you don't think it's boring because I love it."
I love
And
it.
and again, over the years, I've talked to so many people who either love it or thought it was terribly slow and boring.
Yeah.
So I would like to actually hear from some people.
Leave a comment below.
Yeah, leave a comment below, boring or not.
Positive or negative. Do whatever.
And I don't care if you think it's boring. I love it anyway. But I just like to see.
I think we've kind of done this in conjunction with everything else we've talked about.
Yeah.
Do you have any acting stuff or anything?
Not
else
really,
to-
because the supporting cast, I didn't know any of them except
Right.
I only knew Anne Bancroft, Anthony Hopkins, Judi Dench.
Yeah.
The rest of them, they did great.
Yeah.
Because they're playing real life characters and going about their Mercedes. I'll tell you what, I take that back. Mercedes Rule, who I love, played the wife of the English friend in New York. I love Mercedes Rule, and that was one of her early parts. She later
Okay.
did a movie called Fish Called Wanda, and she got an Oscar for it.
I've heard of that movie. I've never seen it.
She's great.
Okay,
she's
cool.
great, and she's kind of a loudmouth Brooklyn. She plays.
Nice.
She's kind of like, she's kind of reminds me of Anne Bancroft. They could have played sisters.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But yeah. So sorry, Mercedes Rule. I don't think she's around anymore. But anyway,
She's watching either way.
maybe she is. I don't. I hope she is around. I hope she is around if she's watching, because that would be terrible. Like John Lovitz to say you're dead and pass away and you didn't.
John Lovitz. No, sorry.
Loving.
If you're watching, and we know that you are.
Sorry, John Lovitz.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you ask me in the beginning? Would I change anything about acting?
No, the acting section. We never really got to the acting section, but we kind of talked about it throughout.
I saw a brief little news snippet documentary type thing made about when this movie was being filmed, and Anne Bancroft met the real Helene Hemp, and you'd have to watch it. It's on YouTube, and she sounded spot on like her.
That's awesome.
And you'll have to watch it.
I'll try and link that below.
I think they all were pretty authentic to the parts. Yeah. I really would like to read some more backstory, because this is definitely a movie I'm interested in, and I'll watch it again someday, I'm sure. But
totally.
Cool. Anyway, no big acting, or if I directed it, I mean, it's just not. I think it's a movie that you can't say it's a much loved movie, but I think people who see it will admire it. Does that make sense?
I think so too. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That was my experience.
I don't think a lot of people will be like us and say, "Oh, it's one of my favorite movies of all time."
Right.
But
okay.
I think if they watch it, they will admire the story.
Yeah.
Because it's really a story. I mean, and it's not your typical story, and it's really not typical in the fact that the principal characters never really meet.
Yep.
And the whole thing is about their relationship through letters. So yeah. So
well, do you want to get into some of our closing questions?
yeah, I can't believe we just keep going on.
I know.
I'm looking at the time up there. How long do we usually go? About
I don't know.
3 hours.
We're doing okay. We'll be fine.
Okay.
Your scene stealer. This could really just be. I don't mean more like acting performance. More just like, I don't know, what scene kind of like do you remember? What's like one of your favorite scenes or moments from the film?
I love the scene, and I don't even remember his name, but he's the heavier clerk.
Yes.
Who lives with his great aunt.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And she's such a crabby old bat.
Yes.
Or she appears to be crabby.
Yes.
And he fixes her Christmas dinner. And what do they have? Like, she brings the bread in, and they actually have ham.
They have the ham from Helene.
And and she sits down at the table, and she says something like, before she goes to the table, she says, "I don't know what I think about food being sent overseas."
Yeah.
And then she goes to the table, and she looks at it, and she smells it, and she starts smiling and giggling like a little girl.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
What a treat, you know. And they just both just whoop it up and have a great old time, you know. But
the best was because you hear his voiceover from his letter to Helene, and he says like, "Well, she was just overjoyed to see it." And then the first thing she says is like, "Do you have the ham ready?" Like something. She's like mad about it.
She's a crabby old bat.
So funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good.
I don't know. I like all the little, like I said to you earlier, I like all the little silly little scenes, like where Anthony Hopkins is painting the ceiling and they say nothing, and his wife comes in and says, "It looks quite nice."
Yeah, yeah. That's it.
there's
And then
there's
they
no
have tea.
there's nothing extra to it, you know.
They like
It's,
barely talk.
Yeah.
I thought there was something wrong, but it's like no, it's just how they are. Like
they're just very reserved.
it's
and
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, mine on maybe a more somber note is the thing I remember is when Helene reads that Frank passed away,
Oh yeah.
and it made me cry because she she saw herself on TV and she's kind of laughing at it because she's like, oh, I can't
Yeah.
believe I walked
Yeah.
into this protest, you know.
She
And
gets
then-
arrested. She's proud of herself.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know?
But she's kind of like smiling about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she sits down and reads that, and it's so sudden. You kind of
Yeah.
don't expect it.
Yeah. And
And
she sits on it first. She sits on
Yeah.
the letter. She almost missed it.
Yeah.
You know.
And she sits on it, or she reads it, and then just starts sobbing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, geez.
Heartbroken. Heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a rough scene.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do you have any casting swap ideas? And this is, like I said, you keep picking movies with perfect casting, so it's hard.
Well, what can I
to do
say?
this.
What can I say?
But yeah, well, it is cool that I think as an actor, you choose films that have super memorable performances by really great actors.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I think
thank you.
that's cool.
I appreciate a
But-
good ensemble myself. I don't know. Anne Bancroft, brilliant. Anthony Hopkins, brilliant. You know, it might be fun to see somebody like, you could see maybe Hugh Grant playing the Anthony Hopkins
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Anne Bancroft. Oh gosh,
I didn't have anybody for her. I thought
I don't know.
I thought it would be close to a sin to replace her in this.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You know, Kate Blanchett. I feel like she's so versatile, even though she's an
Okay.
English actress.
Yeah.
Might be fun to see her play.
Sure.
But you kind of need kind of a loudmouth
Yes.
gal
who don't mess around.
who don't mess around. I don't know who I don't know, but you know, any proper, I can think of a ton of proper English folk who could play the office staff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of actresses. They're flying through my head from this day and age.
You could do from any day and age.
Yeah.
You could pick.
I don't know.
actors.
I don't know. What about Olivia Colman? She's English too, but
Okay.
she could play somebody from Brooklyn maybe.
I think I know her. Olivia Colman.
I mean, Emma Stone might be
Emma-
able
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Emma Stone,
Yeah.
you know, slap an old bob wig on her
I
and
think that'd be good.
let her go to town.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I tell you my pick?
Yeah.
I just picked not because Anthony Hopkins is also perfect, but just because I think it'd be interesting to play it from a different angle. Maybe with someone more like humorous and warm, like
Mhm.
Helene is. I thought it'd be funny to try and do that from that angle where they're more similar as people.
oh,
Which you know,
yeah.
But the polar opposites thing really works very well.
yeah.
But it would be interesting if someone like Ewan McGregor play Anthony Hopkins. You know,
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
who's a
I could
little
see
more
him.
soft.
Yeah, I
you
could
know,
see him
and,
doing that. Yeah.
you know, who's also he's Scottish but UK. You know,
Mhm.
it's United Kingdom. Yeah, but I'd be curious to how that would play out, just because they are polar opposites in this film, which I think works the best. That's the best way. It'd just be cool to see it another way.
Yeah. Sandra Bullock just came to mind. She
Oh,
might be
yeah.
able to play Anne's part.
Yep. She's no nonsense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Double feature.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about it. I was so.
Okay.
I don't know if I have anything written down.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't.
Okay. I have. You'll like my pick. I actually thought about this one. Shop Around the Corner, because they have correspondence.
Yeah.
That's
There you
anonymous,
go. Perfect.
And then they actually meet and
Yeah.
fall in love.
Yep.
And so it's like
That would have
oh,
given you a little bit like they actually got to meet each other.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Like that.
So you got to kind of have that
Yeah.
catharsis, but it's
That's
just
a good
different
one.
angle on the same kind of story.
Yeah. I actually don't think I had any double feature
That's
there.
okay.
So anyway.
Final takeaway: I need a pen pal, and I need to read more, and I need to get more books.
Yeah.
So we need to
You
build
do
some.
not need any more books. Oh my
I need more
gosh.
shelves to put more books.
Yeah.
I think that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
You got plenty of
Um,
books, buddy.
But yeah, how would you recommend this to someone, and what would you rate it?
Well, I mean, as far as like if you're looking at the movies as a whole, I would probably give it an 8. It's a great movie. It's one of my 10s. But I'm you know, if somebody said, well, what you know, for the general people,
Yeah.
like I'm so special because I like it. You're so special because you like it. But I mean, it's just an acquired taste for certain people.
Yeah.
Not that we're
Sure.
any highbrow, cerebral people for liking it, but I don't know.
I can't even count how many times I farted during this podcast.
Speaking of cerebral and such,
It's okay. This chair is really mutes it. Anyway.
Well, your grandma's going to enjoy this
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, love the fart jokes. Okay, so I would tell people this is a slow burn, very wholesome and sweet.
Slow burn.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I gave it a 9. I thought it was really good. I thought the performance was great. I thought the story was really good.
Okay, I'll say 8.5 then.
Yeah. But
No, for me personally, it's a 10. I'm just saying overall.
Totally.
I'm like when I'm talking about where it ranks in the movie universe, you know, because like I said, it is a movie I think that is more admired than loved when you see it.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I very much admire it, but I also love it. So,
well, cool.
Yeah,
that's all we got for this one. For next week, we got your last one that you've picked for me to watch.
Believe it,
which is pretty cool. So next week, tune in for episode 21 for our review of The Philadelphia Story.
How do you like that? Philadelphia Story.
Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, Jimmy Stewart. It's kind of the main three, I would say.
And Hepburn gave him top billing. Cary Grant, he was top billed above her. So she was serious about this movie.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. Little fun fact: if you're a Rotten Tomatoes person, The Philadelphia Story has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty rare. Check that out for next week. We'll see you guys here next week to review that movie together and to talk about it. As always, like, subscribe, leave your comments below if you have any opinions or anything, or if you have any suggestions about what you want us to watch. I would love to do, if we ever got enough people like suggesting things, I would love to do like a fan suggestion like month or something like to watch. So,
or maybe we could have one per month or something. I don't know.
That would be awesome. So like stuff like that, like please, or if you have ideas for what we could do, what kind of content you'd like to see, let us know. And you can, like, subscribe, share with your friends, helps us grow, it says that you like us. It's great. And but also you can email us at movienightswithdad@gmail.com. That's all.
Okay,
that's all we got. Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, son.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.